must think about how you have fun, right? We must think about how. So how I will just name this particular session in totality is what I want to call work-life integration. Request that those who are able to put off their phones today this afternoon for this 1 hour, they do it. Can anyone there do it? Yes. How many can put off their phones for this afternoon? And tell our friends, I'm in a session. It is intense. It is serious. I'm learning for myself, for my better future. And therefore, please call me at 4. I'm going to give you 10 seconds. For those who are courageous enough, please put off your phones and your gadgets and your laptops. And if they say what you are doing, please don't worry about that. Just focus on you as a person. 10 seconds starts now. How many have managed? Oh, almost half. That is very nice. At least we hope that you'll be attracting our neighbors to do the same, isn't it? And they'll join us and join this bandwagon. So this is the kind of life we live, right? Whereby people every evening people are going somewhere to enjoy. A lot of gambling is happening. And I say this because part of the work I've been doing for the last almost 8 years is to help the young people between the age 13 and 17. And therefore I look at us who are parents or big sisters from the lens of the young ones. Because I say, depending on how these young ones are behaving, there's a likelihood that that's the way we are behaving or not behaving at all. So we allow a vacuum and somebody else fill the vacuums. So the vacuums from our younger people are being filled by those sort of things we see there. You know, party after party, I'm going for massage with the, I don't know what ending, people are gambling, right? And actually it is so serious that it is affecting our socializing because we are finding joy in the wrong things. So you see our younger people getting into sorts of drugs and this thing. It's because perhaps we are not balancing the time we are allocating to these people, right? So we seem to be in a rat race. A rat race is whereby you are consistently moving, but if you ask yourself, what value are these things adding to the quality of my being, then you find there's a gap. And you know, sometimes because the way the world measures us, that you performed very well and your KPI, you think actually you are performing and therefore you continue with your rat race because you are requiring to go to the next, you want to a promotion, you want to impress. But the question is that all about your being? Does it give you fulfillment or it gives you excitement? Because we have two things in life. We can live for excitements or for fulfillments. Excitement is whereby you only live once. We make rules and we break them. You know, life is for the living. And therefore, you play hard, you work hard. You know, all those things are actually giving us excitement because we are happy. Because the moment that high is over, then reality checks in. So everything that we are doing as part of our rat race, the question is towards fulfillment or towards excitement. Right? So let's consistently think about this. And I say this because it is good to work, it's good to party, it's good to have fun. But the most important thing to do is to understand your ecosystem. Things that make you complete, things that make you whole. So then you begin saying, how do you allocate time and assign energies to these many things that make you a complete being? Otherwise then you become the worker. I don't be called Obare the worker. You guys used to work. At the moment you move from your civil service, you used to be told some people didn't know what to do from there. They actually could collapse because every morning they have to wake up and go to work. So when work ends, then you have nowhere else to link you up to something else. That's actually the danger and of a rat race. So when you understand the issues around the ecosystem of a human being, then things somehow will change. So an ecosystem is interlinkages of things within our lives. If we don't take care of all of them, not a few of them, if you break any of them, then you affect the other. That's actually how the ecosystem works. Is it a straight? Is it a wobbling? How is our wheel? Is the wheel straight or it has some bit of dent somewhere? It requires some bit of pumping in some areas, isn't it? Yeah. You got some bit of pumping?
Yes, sir.
And you know which areas they are?
Yes.
So can you at least do one commitment down there and say, I will do this to improve this area? Write it for yourself. Write something that you're going to do to improve that area you think needs a bit of pumping. Otherwise, then you may not have time to go back and be truthfully for me to become better. Because that's the whole idea around a leader saying, I want to become better beyond, having all these qualifications we have. What are those other things that you want to improve on? Genuinely and truly so. Make a whole issue which happened this year, where this young man went somewhere and shot randomly and about 19 kids were killed in the school visit. Look at his story. He actually says that one of the things that made him or drove him into that action is because his father went to work away. So his father was busy working and his mother was busy working. So he was being taken care of by the grandmother, and therefore he yearned to be affirmed. We talk about boy child, and one of the biggest things about men is affirmation for boys. So he yearned being affirmed. And because he couldn't be affirmed for a long period of time because of the absence of people seeking this access of making money, this guy actually got affirmation from a gun. And therefore, his authority came from the gun. And therefore, he used the gun to shoot people, and he felt empowered. Does it matter? So it matters that being at home, giving that particular time, and empowering the other people differently could actually change somebody's life. We keep saying, what does it matter? We look at the statistics in terms of suicide cases. Look at the number of people, there are mental health cases, statistics actually. Very many of them are younger people. Up to 50% of the studies show that 50% of them were below the age of 35. That's a serious matter. So it matters really how we integrate ourselves to the life because it affects. Because the people who may be having mental issues are the ones who are associated with our children. So it matters really. Because even if we train our children, you can't keep them away. Your kid can be very spiritual and you wonder why somebody comes from school and has picked up behavior which you are uncomfortable with. So it's a joint effort really to ensure that we work on these things together, right? These things matter. How we train society. Because these men who are riding bikes will still be there tomorrow. So until we begin thinking bigger and saying, how do we transform our society by transforming everybody else and impacting these things in life, they will come to bite us. So at one time we were trying to reject it from our church until we could not. Because now we found these youth who came and they're doing, what do you call it? They are in the choir, the active ones, and they have all these flags on them, and they are able to communicate. So these are things that we have to confront and say, how do we begin to structure our children's mind? Because if we don't, the world will do it for us. And when the world does it for us, this is where we end up on. This one we must think about. I was looking at my laptop. So I opened my screen, and that's the first thing I see apply. I have no control over Microsoft, isn't it? So these are also what our children see because we give them gadgets. And the ones who have logged in as adults. And therefore, even what they get notifications actually is based on adult content. It matters spending time and thinking about how do we present calling corporates, which are commercial entities, to force them into, or to compel them, or to persuade them into a decision. And then it's a crisis. These things are crises. And actually, I don't know about the ladies, but the men have spoken to. It's serious. It is very serious. You go to a function, people want to prove that they can pay bills, and they're just slithering behind the table. And I'm sat at a table where we were in a group and we are having a meal and we finished, and this guy is on the table, and we realize that he's slithering. It is so serious that we have to begin talking about the issues of how are we training our children to begin managing their funds now. If everything our children ask for they get, ladies, you will be in very many problems for those children in the future. They don't know how to budget because they get gratification, you move on. They don't know how to lack. We must create this culture whereby people know things, you can delay gratification. We need to understand these things and see how they work. But these things happen and they matter. So, very many examples. The bigger one is actually how we are living double lives. Our work-life balance is based on double life. That if you ask my work people, how is Obare? They'll tell you he's a very serious worker, very good accountant, all these things. If you go home and ask my wife, how is Obare? She can give you two people. You can write two books. One, Obare at home. The other one, Obare at work. Another one, Obare at church. You know, that's how sometimes we live. We can integrate all these things together. And we can be so solid. And you don't have to struggle, you don't have to be ashamed, you don't have to be worried. Because you know what you do, whatever you do it, is consistent. When we say, what gives you significance? Is a question you must ask yourself. Because it will add to your integration. If you truly believe your family gives you significance, then you will allocate time for them. You cannot tell me today that you value your family so much, but when you talk about your time management, they are not in their allocation. That would be a lie. True or false? Ask your neighbor, query wrong. Ask your neighbor, query wrong. When you say what gives you identity, right, is a question you must consistently ask yourself, because it will give you your brand. When you talk about Coca-Cola making sodas, that is the brand. We know what it produces. So when we talk about ourselves integrating, we must ask ourselves, what am I producing to the world? What am I offering the world? Or what talent am I offering the world? Then what makes us attractive? Is it our purpose? Or is more beyond them? These three questions, ladies, you can actually take your time to reflect on them and discuss them, interrogate them. And that way, you begin knowing what you're talking about in the topic there. Priorities, time management, and stress. Because these stressing us are just things that sometimes don't give us identity, don't give us significance, but they really stress us out. The moment you see those things out, you begin seeing a very good question in terms of identity. So who am I? Where am I from? Why am I here? Why am I broken? Or what is broken? From that circle you can see what is broken and where am I going? 5 simple questions that can give you an amazing purpose in life. 5 questions that actually I learned a couple of years back that I've used every time I want to ask myself, let me reevaluate myself. Who am I? Why am I here? Where am I going? What is broken in my life? And what do I want to be? That can give me a very good purpose, as it were. So we can choose to talk about me this way, or me this way, right? So we normally like flashing our titles, but you know, leaders actually must remove those things. So we must move away from this way of describing ourselves to this way of saying, like for me, I say that's all. So they ask me what is the reason. This was the reason. What do you think this means? Sorry? This means father of many children. Alright? Husband to one wife. Married to Amy. A child of God. Simple things. That's actually how I integrate. So these things will never go. Whether I am practicing accountant, whether I get a problem in my marriage, some things will never go. Let us start redefining ourselves. Let's begin redefining our purpose. And you'll be amazed how much joy you get. In fact, one time I will probably say about vanity of vanity. Because what are all these things? What are all these qualifications? But it's because I was also searching for an identity. That's the truth. So I went to accountancy, I know. I went to law, I know. I went to CS, I know. But governance, maybe I'm telling you. So actually some of these things I'm doing are things that are very historical, that are from the childhood, whereby how can I be a farmer? Perhaps an accountant, you know, where to study. Perhaps as a lawyer, you know, you go to do law school. Hi. But no, I've come to settle there. I'm very happy there. And perhaps I'll stay there for a very long time. That's why you see when I flash a photo like this, You don't require introduction. You know what she is and what she stood for. Simple. She gave her life at the most difficult time. Those of us who are older will know those days were not the easiest, for sure. So when you find people like this standing up and saying, it's not about being a professor. She came out of a professorship. Who cared? Who could put a professor's hair? You know, but it happened to her. That's how we get brands. Think about your brand. And we keep saying, who is running your race? Or whose race are you running? There are two things. Some people run the race for the employer throughout their life. So their career. You see, you know when you hear from me, I'm a career civil servant. What does it mean, by the way? You know, when you say you're a career civil servant, all your life, but also you may lose some things you're not careful. Because then you run the race for somebody else. That becomes your race. So when you're dying, your accolades will be about how you transformed this, how you made a policy, how your policies worked. As opposed to someone saying, look at how the community changed. Look at how the children have learned from the father. Look at how the mother, she has been a motherly person to the rest of the community. So there are many things we can think about. Then there is an issue about lanes. Ladies, you must keep a lane. You surely cannot run a lane here and then you are crossing all the other lanes. Right? Be who you are, day and night. You must always keep to our lanes. It's what actually destroys most of the times when we make wrong decisions. When you find people now who they are, it's because of the lanes we are running. Then most importantly, you must always learn to finish well. That finish line is important. And you must have a finish line, by the way. So when we're talking about from the morning sessions, we're talking about very many of these things. Ask yourself, where is my finish line? And how best will I finish well? What will this thing that will make me finish well? So for you to finish well, I'm giving you just a few tips. It's about who is in your team. Who is in your team? For us men, because I can't speak about ladies, most of the people in our teams are actually people we normally watch football with and drink with. Those are not good team members. They can't take us anywhere. I don't know who is in your team, but ask yourself, who is in your team? And I'll give an example of Kipchoge. Before he ran this race that we are all proud about, one thing he did is the people he ran with. And all of us know the story. He ran alone and won alone, isn't it? But he had a team of how many people? 42. Nobody knows even their names, by the way. Sorry. Nobody may not even know their names. But those are good team members. Do you have team members who will wish to be silent but let you win? Or are you among the team members who is supporting somebody as a mentor and you are happy when they succeed without saying, I'm the one who told this. No, this is who you come and see me. If you are a guy who keeps saying, come and see me, then you're not a good mentor. Then you're not a good team player. You must allow those other ladies to succeed without you demanding that you must be recognized in the course of that particular success. And we won't watch that one as well because of our time. But I want to show you what was very nice about this race is how they were running. We were told that, they were forming a V here in front of him because of humidity. When you are running and there's resistance. So these guys could cover this gentleman so he can run. So who are your shields? If it's actually spirituality and you're finding that part of the way of people shielding you from these problems is going into your spiritual realm, please do. Or it's getting your support from your spouse, please do. Or your children, or your friends. But you must ask, who is helping making your burdens lighter? Who is this person? Who are these people? And how do you value them? The moment you begin then reasoning like that, you begin finding a very, very interesting way of succeeding. Right? I learned this from a man called Dr. Miles Monroe. He speaks about when everybody has something that they manufactured, the most important thing is the manual, isn't it? So ask your neighbor, how has he worked away from the manual? Does he read his manual to know how it's supposed to function? Do you have your manual? Ask your neighbor, do you have a manual? What are they saying? They know they don't have a manual. They have.
What are the contents?
The content of the manual. You see the picture sitting on that wheel of life. Those should form part of the content of that manual. That you are deliberate about achieving something. I can tell you without a manual, anything goes, isn't it? Let's have manuals. The only thing we have a manual for come to discover is career, education, and work. Because you must go to work anyway. Some must put their finger there. When you are consulting, then you must extend, you must do your proposals and push them. So have your manual also for other things now. What's the manual for your family, for your spiritual being? Can I give you a simple example about my family? So one of the biggest things you must walk away from is traps. We talk about traps and wounds. Some of us are wounded when we are younger, and these wounds can even make us feel inferior because somebody gave a negative comment through and through. If you are unlucky, you also got maybe a boyfriend who also gave you worse comments, and maybe a husband who also gave you one to them. So naturally, you find that this becomes a wound that sometimes makes us not become the best of ourselves. So we get absorbed into either one item, either work, then we forget about other things. Some people go to spiritual and then they forget that even God said you have to know how to balance this thing. So you don't want to go into something too much and forget about the other arms that then are becoming the ecosystem that we must have. And ladies, as we think about this thing, think about also whom are you passing the baton to. If it's your child, what baton is it? Is it the baton of pain, of fear, or a baton of encouragement, inspiration, optimism? Because it is what we do or how we behave that our children will think about how they will behave. If consistently we show them that we are actually in a disadvantage because of our gender or our makeup, then it will get to their mind. And that's the baton we might be passing down. We must pass our baton of optimism, of hope, of our future, of things that are better than what we found. We must run our races, ladies, our races, not anybody's race. It does not matter how it might be hurting. We must define our race. We must run our race. We must choose whom to run the race with. And most importantly, we must remember, we are different because we cannot judge an elephant by how they climb trees. And we did a simple study. This is the final slide for sure. We did a study about our children and what they demanded from the parents, and it was very interesting. They were talking about needing emotional support, other things that they lacked. As parents, we should listen to them and be present, be there, give them time, stay with them. They say, stay with us, come at home. When they throw tantrums, understand them. Support our dreams, our talents, our gifts. Buy us gifts when we go for Mombasa or we go for shopping. Please buy us gifts. Pray with us. Don't compare us. Very, very important. They say, play with us as well, support us. Come and watch movies. When they are playing football, go watch them. It's very important. Take us on holiday, drive us around, encourage us, teach us. Surprise us. Then don't force us to study. This is important, parents. Don't force your children to study. They can explore their talents, and become something better actually than we think about, right? Masomo lazima. Ama education is a must, yeah? So finally, I give you my final story. You know this story about this ego. They say, and this is also given on one of these great preachers, he says, the raven is a bird that is very courageous. The only bird that can poke an eagle. So when this raven goes to the eagle and begins poking the eagle, what the eagle does, it doesn't bother. It just keeps flying high. And the higher it goes, then the raven is normally suffocated. It just drops off. So when guys disturb you, keep going. Anybody, just say, talk with me. When anybody is stressing you, go higher. Who wants to go higher? Some don't, but it's okay. We forgive you. So, actually that's the biggest thing. Whatever happens, keep going higher. Those people say, oh, you are reading too much, keep going higher. You are praying too much, go higher. Oh, you are not socially with us, you are too much in your family. go high. The speaker here was referencing her husband like 1,000,000 times. And I can tell you that in some areas, if you went to some countries, that would be a very discomforting discussion.
Yeah.
Because the idea is you must show success minus. As I say, how do I integrate this plus to become better? How do I go higher with my children, with my spouses, with my friends, with my family? We are not born, in Africa we are Ubuntu, isn't it? We are not born like this. We are born with people, so we care. We pay school fees for people. People come from the village, they stay with us on the campus. It's a normal thing. So it's a normal cultural thing. Let's not kill our values with the intention of being individualistic or singlistic and trying to prove points, because that's the most painful thing sometimes. Thank you so much, ladies, for listening to me. I appreciate you.